I am TOC 25 Program Chair. And as you can hear, if you didn't hear, this meeting is going to be recorded so that at the end of the session, we'll be able to post this to our TOC webinars site. So you can go back and take a look at this as often as you would like. So as a reminder, TOC, what we are Training Officers Consortium. And as you can see here, our vision, what we really aim to do with our program and with this organization, this community, to bring us all together, to share ideas, share best practices, and continue moving forward as we learn from each other throughout this process. And our overall mission, as we're trying to achieve that vision, is to, again, continue to build this community of training officers across industry, academia, and the federal environment to help improve what we do and the impact we make across other individuals within the L&D field and how we develop those around us. Our program year has come to an end. TOC 25 this year, we are culminating our program year with TOC 25 with a wonderful conference of about 15 presenters throughout the 2 days. Over the year, we've done our Discover and Discuss, we've done our deep dives, we've done our L&D showcases, and we've done workshops throughout this year. As I said, culminating with TOC 25 this year at the Hilton McLean Tyson's Corner. Registrations are currently still open, but the room block has been closed. So if you still can get a seat, I welcome you to it. And for everyone else that's already registered, I look forward to seeing you starting Sunday night. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kelly Gerstenberg and Nancy Singer, who's going to be leading us through this next session on Command and Communicate.
All right.
And Kelly, I will stop sharing for you to take over. Oh, there you go.
All right. A moment. I keep losing my Zoom screen so that I can see what I'm sharing.
And while Kelly's doing that, one thing I did forget to mention is if you have registered for tomorrow's session, due to unforeseen circumstances, we had to cancel tomorrow's TOC 25 pre-conference session. Again, our apologies, but it was something that we did not anticipate nor can adjust for.
Hold on just a second. Nancy, are you able to share?
Yes, I can, so I would be delighted to do that. Just give me a second. Hold on. Okay.
And I swear this was working 5 minutes ago. Technology is a wonderful thing when it works when you need it to.
Always exciting. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Oh. Okay, here we go. Just get ready. Okay, Kelly, I think we're ready to start.
Yes, we are. All right. Hello and welcome to Command and Communicate. I am Kelly Gerstenberg and I'm joined by Nancy.
And we're excited to spend most of the next hour with you exploring how to handle high-pressure communication moments. We want to also talk about how to project credibility and organize responses on the fly. I want to tell you a little bit about me, and then Kelly's going to tell you a little bit about you. I started my career as a prosecutor for the FDA, and I went around the country trying cases. Then I went into private practice, and then what I did is I became a lawyer for a trade association that represented the CEOs of all the major medical device companies. What I learned there is I was constantly being put under pressure, and the techniques that we're going to learn today is what I used. What I do now is I'm an adjunct associate professor at the University of Southern California, and I teach the master's and the doctoral students in soft skills. Kelly, tell them about you, please.
So my name is Kelly Gerstenberg. I'm a former federal training officer. I worked for the EPA OIG and then in leadership development at HUD. And that was before I left to join the American Counseling Association, where I am now as the Director of Education.
Okay.
So before we get started, we would like to see what you already know. We are going to do a pre-test in Mentimeter. So to join, you can either scan the QR code or enter the code with your browser, or you can click the link that I just put into the chat.
Okay, we're gonna see how good they are with technology. I hope 100%. I think 100% are gonna get it. What percentage do you think are gonna be able to do this, Kelly?
Oh, everybody will be able to do it.
100%. Okay, we'll see. We'll see by the poll. So that'll be fun.
Let me know if you're having any issue with them. There we go. Okay, I think we have.
What we like to do in our conferences is you're not allowed to sit back and go to sleep or multitask. You have to play. So I hope everybody's prepared to do that because this is everybody's class. How are you doing, Kelly?
So
Still-
only 5 people, I think, have done this.
Oh, okay.
So we're hoping to get more because I know that there's
More people on the phone,
joining
yeah.
us today.
Because you really will get much more out of this conference if you participate.
Okay, now we've got 24. So I think we're ready to move on.
Okay. Okay.
So here is what you will walk away with today. You are going to learn how stress hijacks communication and how to stay grounded in the moment. You are going to apply structured frameworks to get your thoughts across clearly, even on the spot.
Okay, great. And we're also going to demonstrate through your voice and your posture and your presence how you can really project credibility and authority.
So these are the situations we all face. You get asked a question with eyes on you. You have to explain a delay, defend a decision, or clarify a complex topic.
And then when you get really nervous, you have to sound credible by managing your own stress so nobody hears it. And this is the core challenge that we're going to work on. So hopefully by the end of this session, you will figure it all out. Okay, so let's talk about the panic response in terms of your thoughts are racing, you shorten your breath, you have tunnel vision, and you have the freeze or flight.
So this is called an amygdala hijack. So your brain is very complex, but to simplify, we can say that we have a rational brain and an emotional brain. And that emotional brain is ruled by the amygdala. So the rational parts of your brain are the logical thinking parts. And to get an idea of how quickly the amygdala can take over, think about when you get jump scared and it takes you a few minutes to gather yourself and for your rational brain to assure you that, oh, everything's fine, I'm not actually in danger. So anytime that your brain detects a threat, the amygdala jumps in, it hijacks. Your thinking brain gets sidelined. And so that's why you maybe you had a clever response that you practiced and you were ready, you're all prepared, and then you can't access it. It's sort of like getting stage fright. You just need to calm your brain down. And if you can get 6 seconds, just 6 seconds, that's all it takes to reset. And then you'll be able to use your rational brain.
Okay, so now what we want you to do is think back to your own experience. At times you were probably calm at one moment and then you became overwhelmed the next moment. And what's the most important thing is recognizing the shift is really the key thing. So what we'd like you to do now is take 30 seconds and reflect on a time when you felt panic in a professional situation. And then again, as I said, this is everybody's class. So in chat, we'd like you to write what happened and how it is. And so I can give you my example. When I was, I told you I was the lawyer for the trade association with all the CEOs. And once they asked me for some specific numbers, and I really didn't have those specific numbers, and I didn't want to panic. So I thought, spent 6 seconds, and then I came up with that my numbers would be much more persuasive if I could send them to everybody in writing. and then they would have it, and they would also have my explanation, which would take too long. But now, can you also share something in chat, the situation and how you felt? And Kelly, you're going to help
And
us.
while we're waiting, then I'll tell a story that I had. So the other day I was in a meeting here and the conversation got a little contentious.
Ah.
And then I started to panic, like, oh gosh, like I'm starting to feel my feelings, and please don't anybody turn to me and say, Kelly, what do you think? So that was my panic feeling, just, and then I was trying to recall all of my grounding techniques, which we're going to share with you today. But I don't see anybody jumping in. So you don't have to use the chat. Feel free to unmute yourself and share a story.
And Kelly, when I got the invitation, I was really excited because I know that we all want to share. You know, we learn from each other, and we have a lot of very high level professionals on the phone. But I think Joy raised her hand. So let's learn from Joy. Joy, can you unmute yourself?
A meeting would be a great idea. So one of my little panic things was when I first became a supervisor and I'm addressing my new team, being the supervisor, and I had at least one of the individuals started questioning me and telling me I was wrong in front of their peers. And so it was being able to trying to figure out how to keep myself calm without lashing out. To which I just took a deep breath and said, we can discuss that at a later time, but this is the route that we're going to go. But it gave me that short burst of, oh crap, how do I continue to be the supervisor and present myself as a supervisor? I've only been a supervisor for 3 weeks.
Oh,
and
wow.
we have this big tasking, and on top of those things we're doing. So just being able to be willing to take that step back, take a breather and say, let's push this off, and we'll discuss that at a later time. In my office, by the way. So I think that little bit of saying, we'll discuss this later in my office, adding in that little piece of in my office kind of set the tone for everyone else, not to do that in front of the team.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I absolutely know how that must have been, how that must have felt. And we've gotten a few comments in the chat. So this is awesome. So Shanru said she was being challenged by her supervisor in front of peers. Stephanie said, well, panic maybe is too strong of a word, but it's certainly annoyance is real when you have last minute curveballs that you have to address. So yes, Stephanie, you have to take a moment and breathe, and we are going to talk about that. Laniera said, gaining an additional role requires timely attention to details. It's been a lot to navigate. Yes, we've got a lot of stuff happening with us right now, just with, at work and just the world. And so it is an overwhelming time. Sonia said, asked why a report, not my responsibility, was not updated. I paused and stated, I'm not sure why it's not updated, but I am willing to support the team to get it done today. That was very encouraging, Sonia. And let's see, Gary said, due to all the staff at my agency who took the DRP, I lost several mentors in the mentoring program that I managed. I panicked thinking I would not have enough for a successful program. That's that's tough. We had several people depart the team at the same time. I was wondering if I had missed the memo during a meeting with an employee. This is from Jeanette. Oh my gosh, the chat. It's awesome. Jeanette said, during a meeting with an employee, their unprofessional behavior caused the conversation to become unproductive. The situation became overwhelming and I was forced to end the meeting. I maintained my composure and asked the employee to leave my office. So that actually is buying time, Jeanette. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Chris said, last minute content development request right before the team was to be out of the office. Panic would be strong, but it did require an immediate transition into problem solving mode. I know exactly what that's like. And then Melissa said, at an all employee event, I was asked to step in on a panel at the last minute in front of hundreds of colleagues 15 minutes beforehand. Woo, Melissa, I want to know what you did to get past that. Did you have the stage fright? Did you take any steps to get past it? And we are now going to talk about, so Nancy, you can move on to the next. Yeah, so we are going to talk about these 5 techniques that we're going to share, and there are lots, but these 5 are what we're going to share, and they interrupt the stress cycle. They are fast and discreet and effective, and we're going to explore them one by one.
Okay, and the first technique we're going to talk about is box breathing. And this is a very interesting one because what you do is, and just listen and then we're going to try it. So you're going to inhale and then you're going to count to 4. Then you're going to hold it and count to 4. Then you're going to exhale and count to 4. And then you're going to pause counting to 4. So what I want to do is I'm going to ask everybody to play. So I'm going to yell out, inhale, you'll inhale and I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you'll go hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, you know, that way. And we're going to do it twice. And then what I'd like you to do is in chat, just see if you're calmer. You know, just say, I'm calm, or you can say, it didn't work for me, but we'll just get the reaction. Okay, so everybody ready? Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now tell us in chat, was that effective or didn't make a difference? And let's get the audience. And I'm going to ask Kelly. Kelly, was it effective? I thought when we learned it, I thought it was effective. Do you think it's effective for you?
It absolutely is. And actually, I used it last night because I had, incidentally, 7 teenagers sleeping at my house, and they were stampeding in the middle of the night. And so it was like 1 in the morning, and I woke up and there was just noise and chaos. And so I had to get up and then fuss at all the people, and then to try to go back to sleep, because now I've gotten out of bed and I've walked up. And so as I'm laying in bed, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do my box breathing so that I can like calm my, relax my adrenaline and be calm. And so it was very effective, and I was right back to sleep within, I don't know, 5 minutes.
Aha. How about the people in chat? What are the people in chat telling us?
So I'm getting a lot of effective, feeling calmer, always an effective technique. Chris said, I'm laughing because my mom would always say, breathe in, breathe out. So she knew exactly what she was talking about, Chris. I think it would be more effective if it were perfectly silent. Okay.
Okay.
Well, you don't have to actually say
Oh,
pause,
right.
hold.
That's just me. Thank you.
Oh, this could have helped me when I had 14 boys for a teenage boys for a sleepover. Yes, Joy. No change.
Okay, fair.
Okay,
we
that's
want
honest.
honest.
They do.
Okay.
They stampede. The teens don't, I don't understand. They don't understand their football. It's like they're toddlers, when they don't learn how your foot bends. And so they just, walk everywhere with like full force on their feet. But I digress.
Okay, shall we move on?
We shall.
Okay.
Okay, so the next trick is to understand that words matter, especially the ones that you say to yourself. So when you're in a panic and you're put on the spot, your automatic response might be to think, oh crap, they're looking at me, what do I say? So you want to replace the freezing self-talk with more positive self-talk, like, I got this. Say it out loud or silently, depending on where you are. Either way, it works. So looking at the slide, we've got some options of positive self-talk statements you could try. And we're going to pop one up as a poll. So some options. So just which one do you think is most like the one that you would use? A, I can handle this, or B, focus on one step at a time, or C, breathe first, then speak. So you can either do the poll or you can put it in chat, which one you think would be most like you. And if you use a different statement altogether, feel free to add that to the chat.
And Kelly and Nancy, it looks like so far the I can handle this is leading by 50%. And then focus on one step at a time is at 27%. And then breathe first, then speak 22%.
Oh, you can't share the results of the poll?
Yep, I can. I was just waiting to see if there
Any
still
more?
have a couple more people. So if you want to vote or answer your poll question, go ahead and do it now. And I'm going to close it. And I see we have one in the chat as well. So, all right, poll is closing and The
Okay.
results, you
handle
should
it.
see those on the screen.
We can, and I can handle this as the best, or I would say, I think to myself, I got this, but I'm glad I'm with the majority. Are you with the majority too, or where do you feel it fit in, Kelly?
Yeah, I'm more like, I got this. I can handle this. I can do this.
Well,
I
great.
breathe, and then I'm like, I got it.
And thank you all for participating. You know, again, it's very good to see what the group thinks. Okay, moving along. There's another grounding technique, which is called an anchoring statement. And this has the added bonus of making you sound thoughtful. But actually what it's doing, it's shifting your brain out of panic into purpose. And for example, you're at a meeting and they turn to you and they say, what are your thoughts about KPIs? And then you get a little chance, you know, you can kind of, by anchoring it or making one of these phrases, it kind of gives you a little time to think. So now, and we're going to do this as a poll, or we're going to do this in chat, Kelly?
I think it's set up as a poll, but we can do it as a chat. We can do both.
We can do both. Okay, so the three anchoring statements. Okay, so they're going to ask you something that you really don't understand or you don't want to answer. So would you say, I want to make sure I understand, can you say more about, or that's A, the core issue is, or before I weigh in, I want to know if anyone else has thoughts about this. So let's try it. I think the poll is fun. Let's try it in the poll. And if you can't do the poll, you'll do chat. Okay. Let's see what everybody says.
And I tend to, my go-to is usually to deflect versus clarify. So we have two that are clarifying. I want to make sure I understand. Can you say more about? That actually buys you a little more time. That's both. That's clarifying and buying time. So the core issue is that's a clarifying statement. And then before I weigh in, I want to know if anybody else has some thoughts on this. This is a deflection.
And I learned from you yesterday, Kelly. I was so impressed when we were talking about this. What you did, and I'm going to do this in the future. Before I weigh in, I want to ask Kelly, who really is very knowledgeable about counseling. I'd like to hear her opinion, and then I'll give you the lawyer's opinion. But first, I think that would make Kelly feel good because she's important, and it gives me time. So let me test my hypothesis. Kelly, when I mention your name and say you're an expert counselor, which you are, does that make you feel good, or are you just annoyed? How do you react to that?
Oh, no. It's nice. I think there's some psychology behind it, and I want to read what exactly is happening. But when you hear your name, something happens to the brain, and you automatically have I forget all the clinical words for it, but there is a level of connection that you build when somebody says your name. So like when you are trying to de-escalate something, you want to say that person's name, or if you are trying to win friends and influence people, you want to say their name. So yeah, that would be good.
Okay.
So Chris and Joy or Amy have said, tell me more, say more words. That when I'm intrigued by something, I'll go, ooh, say more, or I want to hear more about this. I think, so Aaron said, I think what I'm hearing you say is then ask for clarification. Yep. And Gary said, help me understand. That's a good one. Help me understand. Don't sound too condescending. That's true. Because sometimes I will say that to my children when they give me some kind of, I don't know, explanation for something. And I'm like, help me understand this. And then my condescension is evident.
Oh, okay. Well, the commissioner of the FDA, David Kessler, years ago, he didn't agree. He took over and he had a very strong personality, a positive personality, but he had empathy too. So whenever he went to a staff meeting, when they were giving out the new procedures, instead of saying, I don't like that, he just said, help me understand your rationale. And it was very soft and it was very effective. So he used it too. So can we get the answers to the poll? Let's just see what people are saying.
Ooh, I want to make sure I understand. Can you say more about?
I like that. Okay. And that's 79%, and 10% say the core issues, and only 10% say before I weigh in, I want to know if anyone else has thoughts on this. Well, good. It's just nice to see where everybody is. So thank you all for voting. Okay.
So, okay, another trick we are going to learn is a simple but research-formed way to signal safety in the brain. And this is through gentle eye movements, sometimes called eye yoga. So when we move our eyes slowly and intentionally, and especially if it's side to side, you're engaging neural pathways that are going to help your amygdala shift out of high alert. But you can also do it discreetly. So if, let's say you're looking ahead, you're in a meeting, you want to, you don't want to move your head all the way like you're looking at a spider on the ceiling, but you just kind of want to, maybe pick a spot on the wall or the ceiling that you can kind of move your eyes to, but it makes you look thoughtful. Like, I'm thinking of what to say. And then maybe you do that for a few seconds, and then you can sort of avert your eyes to another part. So you're still thinking, you're still in deep, deep thought. Or maybe you want to look down at, the corner of your keyboard or your laptop, or maybe on the table. But the point is that you're doing just something with your eye movements to help you kind of calm. And that's whenever you're in a state of panic, it'll help your rational brain take over. So everybody, let's try it. So pick a spot, and maybe you already have as I've been going through this. So let's practice. Pick a spot somewhere on the wall in front of you, or maybe your computer screen, and then you can move your eyes to the side. Okay, is this something that, weigh in the chat, is this something that you feel like you might use? You're gonna keep this trick handy? Yay or nay?
And we
Thumbs
want
up.
to know we want to hear the nays too, but again, I
Yeah.
learned it and I liked it. So we'll
If
see
you're
what other
like, this sounds dumb. And honestly, even when I hear things and I think, that sounds dumb or that sounds hokey, then it's still something that I'm going to keep, in the back of my mind for those times when I'm like panicking. And I'm like, oh, what are those things I'm supposed to do? Oh yeah, I'm going to do the eye thing. And if you wear glasses, you could probably be more discreet. Not as much as the other techniques on it. I love the honesty. Thank you. Yep, willing to try it. Awesome.
Okay, shall we go on?
Moving on.
Okay. Okay. So this is really fun. This is grounding techniques, superhero. So what you want to do is you want to do this, you want to put your hands on your hips. You want to feel feet grounded. You want to have your chin up, and you have to breathe deeply. Now, this is something that Amy Cuddy in 2010 came up with. And she talked about body language and what things to do. And people have found that if you really do stand up, put your hands on your hips and take some deep breaths, you will feel much better. And it's kind of a power pose. And what we'd like you to do is we'd like everybody to try it. So if everybody would stand up, put their hands on their hips right now, and I'm going to count to 14 and just count to 14, listen and breathe and see if you are feeling more powerful. And I did this in another conference with 120 people 2 weeks ago, and the people really liked it, and they did. Now, you wouldn't do this in the meeting. You do it in the bathroom, or you do it before you're going into the meeting, and then you walk in. You wouldn't do it in front of everybody. But everybody try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Kelly, do you feel more powerful?
I do. I feel powerful. Let's go.
Let's see what's in
Let's
chat.
go
Yes,
enter a room of strangers.
right? Yes or no in chat if you feel more powerful.
And if anyone is a fan of Grey's Anatomy, you will remember, and I put the link in the chat, Dr. Amelia Shepard frequently uses superhero pose whenever she's nervous about something. And so the link in the chat, I think, is right before she's going through brain surgery. So this is where she leads everybody into that and teaches them, like, okay, when we need to be brave, we'll do this so that we're getting all of our courage and our energy.
Okay, so everybody click on the link, and when you're done in chat, write done. It takes a couple of minutes, but I really enjoyed watching it, so I hope you will too.
Okay, I think we're
Okay.
almost.
Are people feeling, let me just ask you, see the chat, you don't read them up, but are we
I
getting
see
people feeling
thumbs
more?
up. I see love it. I see
Okay.
yes.
People are, some people. Okay, I challenge you all. It really works. Okay. Now,
So,
Kelly?
well, that's sort of the end of the grounding techniques, but we also have some framework. So when you speak on the spot, having a structure in mind keeps you from rambling, because I tend to ramble when I'm nervous. So we're going to talk about 2 models that help make your point memorable.
Okay, and they are the what, so what, now what, and called PREP. So let me just now talk to you about the what, so what, now what. This is a template which you can use, and it's great for updates or quick explanations. And so what you do in the what, you lay out the facts, general facts, why they matter. In the so what, you say why, the general facts. The so what is why it matters to the person who is listening. And the now what is what's next. So let me go through this slowly. So my what might be, we have received 42 stakeholder complaints last month. That's the what. So what? Why does it matter? That signals a service gap. Now what? We should review onboarding by Friday. So by grouping it that way, it's very clear. So
Okay.
Kelly, you want to?
So if we had more time, or if we were in person, then we'd break up into teams and partners and do this together. But for now, we're just going to do it in the chat, just so that we get the structure. So here's the situation. Your team has been working remotely and feels disconnected. So you would like to recommend a solution to your supervisor. So what we're going to do, and then there's going to be a poll, organize the sentences below following the what, so what, now what framework. So you're just going to basically, they're out of order. We're just going to put them back in order. So we have A, create weekly team check-ins and virtual coffee breaks. You can launch the poll now. B, team members feel disconnected from each other. And C, people work better when they feel connected. So what order should they go? What would be your first sentence, second sentence, and third sentence? We see it. Good. Thank you. You could, yeah, feel free to add it to the chat versus the poll if you prefer. Are we about ready, Joy or Amy?
We have about 66% completed. It's
Okay.
going up real fast though. So we're at 72
Okay.
now. So
Good.
go ahead and finish your selections. So first, second, third part. And I'll close the poll in just a second. All right, closing the poll now.
All right. So B, C, A. It looks like we got it all correct. So the correct answer would be the B. People work better when they feel connected. I recommend we create weekly team check-ins and virtual coffee breaks. Team members feel disconnected from each other. What, so what, now what? Wait.
Okay. No, I'm not
I feel
sure.
like they're out of order.
No.
No, it should be team members feel connected when feel disconnected from each other. People work better when they feel connected. Therefore, we should create weekly team check-ins. So they're kind of in different orders.
Yes.
Okay.
I think they got it right because down at the bottom it has the circle, the color of the of the sentence.
Okay.
So the first one was the lighter blue, the second one was the darker blue, and then the third is the orange.
Got it. Okay, next, moving on.
Okay, moving on to the next thing. Here we go. Okay, so now there's another framework for clarity, which is called PREP. And this is great when you have to advocate a position. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with your point. Then you're going to give a reason. Then you're going to give an example, and then you're going to restate the point. So I'm going to give you, I'll start. So my point would be, I support expanding telework. The reason I do that, and I won't say the reason, but I'm just doing this now, is because it improves retention. Now, the example I would give is our team's productivity rose 12% under the hybrid rules. And so my point now is, oh, yes, I support expanding the policy. So giving the point is very nice. Then you have a reason. Now, people don't generally give an example, but if you give an example, everybody in the room will appreciate it, because when you make it really concrete, and then you state your point. And I'm going to just say it again. So my point is, I support expanding telework. The reason is because it improves retention. My example, our team's productivity rose 12% under the hybrid rules. And so my point is, again, oh, yes, I support expanding the policy.
Okay, so we're going to do the same thing as last time. We're just going to put the sentences in order to match the prep framework. And you can launch that or put it in the chat. Totally fine.
Okay, see. And you all should get 100, because I just gave it to you, but we'll see if anyone's paying attention.
And for those of you that can't see number 3, you have to scroll to the right in the poll.
And everybody definitely should get 100, but we'll see.
All right, we'll be closing the poll in just a second. Go ahead and submit your responses. Don't forget to hit submit. All right, closing the poll now. Oh, just got a couple more.
Awesome. So the correct answer, GM Roberts has it correct. So it is, if you did it on the screen, it's CBAD. So I support expanding telework. Telework improves retention. A, the example, our team's productivity rose 12%. D, so yes, I support expanding the policy.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Kelly.
Oh, no, I'm ready to move on.
Okay, so what we now have given you 2 ways. So you would choose your model based on what you want to do. If you want to do what, so what, now what, that is when you're reflecting or debriefing, and then we would use the prep, which would be point, reason, example, point again, when you want to persuade someone else.
Okay, so now that you know how to calm your mind and you know how to phrase and form your thoughts, the next thing you want to do is project authority. So you're faking it until you make it. So you project your presence before you even speak. So you want to stay tall, speak steadily, manage your facial expressions, which I have trouble doing. And these signals all reinforce credibility. So your confidence starts with posture, presence, and tone. I'm frequently being told, fix your face, because that is the part that I need to work on. I do my superhero stuff, so I have good posture and I stand tall, and I have my framework so that I, am speaking clearly with my frameworks, but then my face doesn't necessarily match.
Okay, and interesting thing, we have to do this. I remember we had a Secretary of State, and people are told they look better when they smile, and they must have a woman Secretary of State, and they must have told this woman secretary said that she should smile. And I remember she was on the news and she was smiling, but she said, 400 people were killed in this instance, which was totally inappropriate. So you really want your face to match what you're saying. Okay. So we're going to do an activity, which will be a lot. But what we want to do is we want you to stand up, and we want you to practice what we've taught you so far. So I'd like everybody to stand up, and I'd like everybody to stand up tall, use the right tone, and project confidence, and say, here's what I recommend. So everybody stand up now, if you will. And right now, all together, standing up straight with power and tone, and we're going to do it twice.
Okay.
Here's what I recommend, everybody.
Here's what I recommend.
Very good. One more time, Kelly. Everybody.
Here's what I recommend. Making eye
Okay.
contact. And my face is either positive or neutral and not mad.
And you notice with Kelly, she stood up straight. She had enthusiasm, had great eye contact, and your face was, at that time, your face was perfect. Okay.
Okay, good. Okay. So when you're on the spot in a meeting, you might only have seconds. So you want to start by clarifying questions. Let me make sure I understand, and then ground and respond. Or if you're caught off guard, you can buy some time. Hey, Nancy, what do you think? So you could buy some time by saying, that's a good question. I want to make sure I give you a thoughtful answer. Is it okay if I get back to you after the meeting? So that buys time and helps you refocus. Or if you do have a lot to say, but you're feeling a little flustered and want to make sure that you're conveying your point professionally, apply a framework. What do you think, Nancy?
I think I think, and I would either go into my what, so what, now what, or my prep, which would be my point, reason, example, point. So I would have to choose which one I want to say. Okay, so I want you to remember, you don't have to feel confident to sound confident. Confidence is often a side effect of preparation and practice, and you don't have to wait for it. You can just act on it right now. Okay.
So the next thing we're going to do is our post-test. Before we wrap up, we want to see if anything has changed, if you have actually, if you're taking away anything. So the pre-test again in Mentimeter. Oh, hold on. Let me actually have to activate. Wait, before you do that, I have to unhide the slide.
What? I'm sorry, what do you want me to do?
Hold on. No, I'm just saying before they do this, I have to unhide the slide. It's hidden right now. Okay. So now you can do it.
Okay.
So you'll see your pre-test one. If you go to the Mentimeter, you'll see the pre-test one, and then you should see now the post-test one. So same questions. And we'll see how they compare.
Okay.
Wait, it should be both. So if you would click through to the other one. Do you see it, GM Roberts?
I only see the pretest.
So there should be two, like you should maybe refresh because they're both in the same thing.
Because when I hit it and submit, it says, are you sure you want to submit these responses?
Right, so your pre-test is in the first one and the second one is on the, okay, I see post-test on my phone, but not on the computer. At the bottom, I see skip question, which takes me to the post-test.
All right,
So
so
some
that's
people
the
are-
key. Hit skip question
Okay.
at the bottom if you're on a computer. Hit that skip question. It does bring up the post test.
Well, that's not working for me. Okay. Now,
Has it worked for anybody?
it just
Yeah.
worked. I had to go through and skip all of the individual questions, and then it did something, and then I got at the bottom, skip question. I didn't have skip question at the bottom before. So
Okay.
give me a moment to do the.
So I
Thanks.
think you might have to do the pre-test again and then the post-test.
Oh. No. Wonder if I can hide that skip slide.
It's okay. Are you
No,
getting
no, this is-
responses?
This is my first time using the Mentimeter, so in this way. So I'm now hiding.
Actually, it works for me. We have, okay. Jared said it worked for me. Gary said it
Right.
worked better on the phone. Okay.
There's definitely some responses that are coming through.
Yeah, I can see that 17 have responded to the post test.
And what's cool for me is that having them side by side, I'll share my screen once we're all done with this so that we can see, but we can see the difference in the pre-test and the post-test. So that's telling me that we have success.
Okay. Because there's another survey we want everybody to fill out too about what they learned. So we want to save some time for that. But do you want to, shall I stop sharing my screen, and would you like to share yours, Kelly, now?
Let's see. I can't see how many have done the post-test.
Tricia says, Mentimeter shows me 18 completed it and a summary of the results.
Okay, cool. So go ahead and stop sharing and I will share.
Okay.
All right. Here's my Mentimeter. So side by side, so if we're looking at our pre-test, can everybody see my screen?
But it doesn't do it, Kelly.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here it is.
Not
I
yet.
see it. I see it.
There you
Now
go.
I see it.
There we go.
Good.
Okay. So here we have our pre-test. So we're looking like we're mostly in the 3s, like in the 3 range. But when we look at the post-test, we've got a visual that we are more clearly moved into the 4s, approaching the 5s. So
Great.
I will
Very
walk away feeling pleased. Thank you.
Okay. So let me go back to where we were, if that's okay. And here we go, post-test. Okay. So we're going to open, well, what I'd like to do, we don't have that much time left. So what I'd like to do is we would like to get your reaction. What I have found is you've presented a lot of information, and we're going to ask you to fill out a 3-question survey. It'll take you 90 seconds, and it's just going to tell us what insights you've gotten. So the survey is in chat, and we'd love you to fill it out. When you do in chat, if you would just write done, and then we can open the floor for questions.
Oh, Nancy, that's the pre-test post-test.
Oh, no, I don't think, no, it's a link in chat.
Yeah, the link in chat is the Mentimeter one.
Oh dear. Oh, okay. Okay. Does anyone have, let me work on that. And does anyone have any questions? And while I work on that, let me get it.
Yes,
Okay.
we will open the floor to any questions. Chat or microphone.
Or if we don't have any questions, we like someone who's brave, who's going to say what they learned that was a little bit different.
So it looks like Gary wants to weigh in.
Yes, Gary.
Gary, please talk.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this presentation. Learned a lot. So a lot that I can very actionable and put into practice this afternoon, as a matter of fact. So my question is, any kind of tips that you could offer to mitigate perhaps coming across too aggressive. So, I walk in there, I got my hands on my hips, my eyeballs are going, and I'm talking in my deep voice. And, I don't want to, I want to mitigate people thinking I'm perhaps coming across too aggressively. So, any thoughts on that?
So my thoughts on that would be smile. Like, so your face is going to be showing. So like people always telling me to fix my face. So I don't have a good poker face. So if your presence, because you're a pretty tall person. So I think your stature alone is, pretty commanding. So I would say it would be about the things that you can control. Like the perception is you can come in friendly, having, and I'm glad you think that's funny. But yeah, you're going to smile and you're going to, start your opening statement is going to be something positive and welcoming. Hi, everybody. My name is Gary. Or, your first interaction, like you're just going to say something kind of positive and collegial. That would be my suggestion.
I think that's great.
Thank you.
The survey now, the correct one, is in chat. So if everybody now would take the 90 seconds and fill it out, that would be great. And then we still would love to take questions. But if you give us our 3-question survey, that would be great.
Any other questions?
And when you're done with it, if you just write done in chat.
Done.
Oh, great. Someone's quick. I told you it's a quick survey.
Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us for this pre-conference session. I hope your in-person event is amazing.
And Kelly, what was so wonderful, and it's just about the group, we weren't sure if people would play, but we were all training officers. And you could tell that everybody was a training officer because we got almost full participation. So we really appreciate that.
Definitely.
Does anyone else have any questions? So let me get a reality check from Kelly. Kelly, thinking about, we taught a whole lot of things. Which are your favorites? If you had to come up with 2 or 3 favorite things, what are your favorite things out of everything we talked to people?
Well, I like super power pose, but I already knew that one, so it wouldn't be a new takeaway. I'd say the grounding techniques, like having that little portfolio, that library of 5 things that I know that I can take away. Then when I'm panicking and I'm like, oh, I forgot the thing, I now know that I've got a couple of backups. So I would say that having a handful of strategies is always helpful for me to feel more composed when I'm feeling flustered.
Because my favorite, I like the prep. I had before we did this talk, I hadn't really thought about the prep. I knew the what, so what, now what. I also love the power. I love the power pose. I really do that. And now I like the box breathing. In and out has been really helpful. Okay.
It's about the app. It's about the event.
Okay. So do we have any questions from anybody? Or anything that they particularly liked? Let's keep it open for just 1 more minute so they can finish the survey and then we can close it. But thank everybody for staying online. We're getting a whole lot more dones, which is great. But we don't have all the dones yet. Okay, they're coming in.
I love the turnout today. There's a lot of people who are joining us, which is awesome.
And these slides, I think these slides will, the webinar and the slide will be posted. So if you didn't get all the material, you weren't able to copy it down, you can watch it again. So.
Yep, we'll be able to put it up in Whova as well to share the documents and the information, along with the recording will be on the TOC webpage. So we'll have a follow-up email with all those details, and you can share them with your colleagues as well.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. So glad
Thank you,
to have you
everyone.
and good to see you again. And before we go, just real quick, I dropped the link in the chat for TOC 2025. Go on there. That link has all of the our keynote speakers, our schedule, the Whova app, and all of the great things that we have for you coming up next week. So any questions about TOC 2025? I don't know if Shanda's still on and wants to say something real quick.
I just want to say I'm looking forward to seeing everybody next week. Join us for our welcome reception on Sunday and stay through Tuesday for all of our great sessions with powerful speakers just like Nancy and Kelly today. So thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Kelly, for all of the information you provided with us for us today. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.